Hey Northland, Bradley here. I'm with Jean, our Director of Facilities, and we're here to talk about the roof. Raise the Roof, right?
Yes,
so
Raise the Roof.
You've probably heard about Raise the Roof. Pastor Josh has been telling us about that, and we're excited. And so one of those pieces is the Rink Roof. And so here we are on top of the Rink Roof. I didn't even know we could do this. I didn't even know this was allowed, but Director of Facilities says we could. So, but man, the rink holds a special place in a lot of our hearts. You know, I know for me, it was where I first started attending here, and I know a lot of people have gotten married in this building, and it's just a really special building with a lot of history. But it's old, right?
It's old. Yes.
I mean, it was built before we used it. So
yes.
When was that?
Well, I think it was built in 1960. There's some varying opinion on that, but the records I found said 1960.
So now it's several years later.
Many years later.
We've done some things over the years to renovate, refresh, take care of it, but we're kind of at a crossroads with the roof right now, right? And so can you give us a little bit of info on the roof, what's going to be done, and then how we got here?
Sure. It started about a year ago. We had a lot of leaks, and all the roofers that came out to assess repairing the leaks told us the roof was in pretty bad shape and that it really needed to be replaced. So we started considering that, and after consulting with CFR, they have a man on staff who has a doctorate in building construction. We talked about, this is an old building, we put a lot of money into it. What are our options? Do we keep putting money into it? Do we kind of start over, if you will? We decided to go ahead and repair the roof rather than replace it. The finance team is very prudent in making sure that we have money for emergencies, kind of like an emergency fund. But shortly after that, our insurance company decided not to renew our coverage and actually canceled our policy. So that kind of threw a wrench in our plan of just repairing this roof and trying to keep it going. So we went back to the finance committee, went back to the roofers. We had to get new quotes because of all of the supply chain issues and petroleum-based products, prices rising. And we've consulted with 8 or 9 roofers. And they've all given us different proposals, but for the most part, So now we're evaluating those and really trying to zero in on what would be the best for this roof, which is a little bit complicated. Maybe not for a roofer, but in my opinion, it's complicated.
Yeah, well, because I heard you were telling me there are multiple sections and they're all different. Just give us a little bit of why this roof is so weird. It's not just your standard roof.
We're on a relatively flat portion of the roof, but there are many portions of the roof that are not flat, and so the code requires that they be shingled. But the flatter portions require tapered insulation with either TPO or modified bitumen. And the other thing is, since we are self-insured right now, we don't want to, take too long to get a new roof because we would like to get an insurance policy against,
especially before hurricane season.
Wind damage, yes, before hurricane season. So we have to pick materials that the roofers can get relatively soon, so that we're not waiting until next year to put on a new roof. We want to do it as soon as possible. The prices of the roofing materials, the suppliers have announced to all the roofers that the prices of the roofing materials are going up on July 1st. So we really want to select a roofer and the materials and the color and get everything ordered before July 1st so that we can avoid that price increase. I've prayed about this decision quite a bit, as I do with all the decisions that I make with the congregation's money and our resources, because it's up to God what we do and who we select. And so I try to defer to the Holy Spirit to guide me.
I tried to ask you earlier, you wouldn't give me an answer, but how many shingles or pieces of the roof do you think are up there? You had to take a guess. You were a betting person.
I don't know how many shingles are in a square, but the roofers tell me we need 354 squares of shingles.
Okay.
So that's just the shingle portion of the roof, which is probably about 2/3 of the roof, and then you have the flat portion. Yeah.
Okay. Well, so we may have to ask Glenn then, what that equals, per shingle.
Sure.
What amount that is.
How much?
That'd be fun. Maybe I could buy my own shingle and I could have my name on it.
Oh, that's a great idea. I love that idea. Yeah.
Well, thanks for being with us, Jean. We appreciate it.
My pleasure.
And we'll be going through a couple of the other areas of our Raise the Roof fundraiser, and so we hope you'll join us in the coming weeks to do that. But the roof is the first and most important part and why we started this. So maybe as we sign off, can we do a Raise the Roof together, Jean?
Sure.
Can we do ready?
Indeed.
1, 2, 3. Raise the roof.